Welcome to another episode of Marstalks. It's been a while, so welcome back and thank you for sticking around. Um, yeah, I didn't necessarily take a break. I just didn't really have anybody to do it with, and so I kind of lost the motivation to do it. But I guess I'm back now. I'll do it when I feel like it. I guess that's the only really fair way to myself to do it. Um, yeah. So, welcome back, thank you for being here. Thanks for, I think, 13 subscribers now. I honestly didn't think I'd get that far. But, it's 40 seconds, 50 seconds, my bad, and we haven't even talked about what we're going to talk about today. And I don't have a special guest with me today. Asia's not here, Ariana's not here, Emilio's not. Whoever else is here, not here, is not here. So it's just me. Anyway, I had a title in mind. If I'm brain farting, forgive me. It is called Heartbreak and Heartache. That's probably what the title is going to be. And that's what the topic is, Heartbreak and Heartache. Yeah. If you've watched the previous videos, you know I've gone through some heartbreak and heartache, but some more has happened. Yeah, so that sucks. Um, I mean, I'm doing as okay as I can possibly do with it. I keep trying. I never give up about this sort of stuff, or I try not to give up, but it is what it is. And, I'm going to talk about those situations and how my emotional process through them and how I'm feeling. It's just a little group therapy for all of us if you're feeling the same. You know? Just a dude, just like you're just a guy or a girl, whatever. So I guess I'll start with a disclaimer. I don't know if I already said their names of the girls, in the previous podcast, but if I did, I didn't say their last name. I didn't say anything more than that. I'll try not to say their name this episode out of respect for them. I don't hate them. Um, I'm just hurt. I don't have any spite or disdain for you, and that's not what this episode is about. So if you're watching this, if you're one of those girls, hello. I mean, yeah, that's all I can really say. Um, yeah. So anyway, let's just get started talking about it. So, I guess I'll briefly go over history so we can lead up to this point. Blah, 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 third grade, first crush, blah, 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 dated her in the 8th grade, blah, 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 broke my heart, blah, 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 ninth grade, blah, 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 betrayal, blah, 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 hatred, blah, 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 forgiveness, blah, 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 forgiveness again, blah, 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 forgiveness for a third time. Um, so, now we're where we are approximately 7 months ago. Met this girl, found love. We were in love for a long, long time. Well, I don't know if I guess it's a long time to be in love, but it's a long time for us to be in love and for us to be alive, relative to our age. Her being 15 and I was 16 and then turned 17. But yeah. It didn't go well. It didn't go well in the end. Um, I tried my best to be positive with her. I tried my best to, support her and love her through thick and thin. Because, you think that's what a good partner does. But she just didn't do the same for me. She was the one putting us through thick and thin. And every single time I got hurt and I cried and I laid down, I stared at the ceiling, in the dark and just wondered. But I would not give up. I wouldn't give up trying to support her, and I would not give up on this relationship because in my heart of hearts, deep down in my soul, I loved her. And she loved me too, but she kept bringing this emotional pestilence upon us, or upon me. And she always, I guess you could say, never appreciated, how much I was sticking by her and how much I loved her and all that sort of stuff. And so one day, she breaks my heart again. And before this, we were already going through a hard time. I found out some horrible things that she had done while we were together. I was constantly finding out those things, but I still loved her. But in this one, honestly, it wasn't any different than the rest. I still loved her, and I still wanted to stick by her, and I still wanted to, just thick it out, I guess that's the saying. But that didn't really happen. And it wasn't that I chose not to, it was she chose not to. She said she wasn't happy with me anymore. She listed all the reasons that she didn't want to be with me anymore. And she then pretty much abandoned me. So I am very hurt, especially with all the effort I put into everything for her. Every minute of every day I thought about her, and I was head over heels with her. And this is just how it ends. So I'm very, very hurt. I'm very, very hurt. Very, very, very hurt. And that pain and hurt is pain and hurt and sorrow and sadness and a greater depression that I was already in. And then it turned into something more. It turned into anger. It turned into anger and just anger. Just very genuine anger at how I had been treated almost this entire relationship. And so, I'm angry now. Whatever. I make Instagram posts. I have a private Instagram, where I post my thoughts and my feelings and just intimate thoughts and stuff like that. She sees it, comments on it. Nothing changes, And then that anger turns into, I would almost say, contempt. Where it was just like, you almost pity someone that would do something so horrible. And I was like, I'm not about to sit here and take it. I refuse to let that be the case. I refuse to let that be the case. I'm not about to, sit here and just get crapped on. So I'm like, I I could read out the post, but the gist of it is, hey, no, I'm not sitting here. I'm not gonna sit here and let this and let you walk over me like this. Don't talk to me anymore. I'm done with you. You yourself admit that you don't deserve me. I don't care if you don't deserve me or not. I wanted to be with you. I wanted to support you, and I supported you no matter what. And this is what I get in the end. This isn't an amicable breakup. This is something messy, something dirty, something that makes you feel gross. And so I just dismiss her. I dismiss her emotionally, and I dismiss her verbally. And I'm like, once you get it together, then maybe we can talk. Then once you get it together, maybe something would change. But I'm done with you. I'm done. But she keeps crossing that line, and she keeps talking to me anyway. And I keep trying to tolerate it, but then she just takes it too far. She asks for my first Valentine's Day gift that I ever had in my entire life back. And that really, really hurt me. That hurt me almost as much as breaking up hurt me. She didn't ask it back, she demanded it back. And true to the emotions I displayed before, I said no. I'm not giving it to you back. In fact, you have some balls for asking me after everything you've done. And we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I lay out how she's being so immature and how this is almost disgusting to me. And she just won't listen. She's just being petty. She's just being whoever she is, I guess. I don't know. Whoever she is deep down inside. And so eventually she blocks me, and that's the end of it. I don't think I ever have to contact her again. And I make sure I block her too. Just so she unblocks me, she doesn't have any way to contact me. But then weeks later, I'm just trying to move on. She emails me about the bracelet. Keep in mind, I had blocked her on everything. I had deleted my messenger app that I used to primarily message her. She's off of my Snapchat. She's gone. She's essentially wiped from my existence. And she worms her way back in, and she emails me about this Valentine's Day gift. And then I just snap again, and I'm just like, you just don't get it, do you? You just don't get the damage that you've caused me and the pain that you've caused me and all that I've done for you. You just don't get it. You're being immature and you're being spiteful. And I don't know why, but I hope you get better. I don't hate you, but this is just disgusting to me. And so, she responds back with something insensitive, of course. And then I just lay it down in front of her. I lay down the hard facts of everything that's been going on. And I express... I'm not crying, by the way. This is just how my voice sounds. I express every single frustration. Not that I have, but that a spectator of this situation would have with her. I expressed that to her, and then maybe it finally clicks with her. and she really apologizes and stuff like that, and she says, she really messed up, and she asks God, she asks herself if she did the right thing, and if she's a good person, if there's anything she could possibly do about it. And this doesn't pull any heartstrings for me. I just sit there and I read it. And she says sorry and stuff like that. And so I think to myself, if I were to be put in her position, what would I want at this point in time? Not that I deserve what I want, but what would I want? And I decide to tell her, I'm not gonna block you, and I'm going to, she expects me to just ignore her email or read it and then not respond, and she'll just leave me alone. And I tell her, you, I don't say I forgive her. I don't say, let's get back together. I don't say any of that. I said, I'm not going to block you. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to make up what you've done to me. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't care how you figured out to do it. I don't care if you're stuck trying to figure out how you're going to do it, if you're going to do it at all. But if you don't have any intentions, you can block me right now, because I don't want anything else to do with you at this point in time. So she says, okay. And from what I understand, from what I've led to believe, she plans on doing something, and she's done nothing so far. So it's whatever with that. It's not whatever. I was in pain, and I was put through hell for no reason. Almost like some spiteful sadist who put me through this. So that's one thing. There's two more situations. So all while this has been going down, let's rewind time all the way back to when she broke up with me. There was this girl who I liked, and she liked me. And she had been with me through the thick and thins of most of the relationship. I pretty much guaranteed her, at the time before we broke up, that, if I break up with her and we're not together, you're pretty much next, I don't say that she's next. In fact, I don't guarantee her that she's next. I'm saying, I still have to figure out what I want to do and who's next and stuff like that. But you're next. You're pretty high up there on the list. In fact, yeah, we call it the metaphorical list. And the time comes for her to possibly be next. And so she essentially tries, or at least I'm guessing she emotionally supports me. She emotionally supports me through this rough patch that I'm going through. And I appreciate her for that very, very deeply. And if you're watching that video, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. And she supports me and stuff like that. And we're very intimate, We're very intimate. It even got to the point that I admit that I love her just a little bit. And she says that she loves me a little bit too. And things just feel a bit better. Like there's still green grass somewhere. Greener grass somewhere. That's not how. That's not how the metaphor goes, but I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. But I, I guess trouble in paradise begins. Um, about a month to 2 months ago. I don't know when. But I ask her, I say I say, are you okay if I talk to other people, other girls, Is that okay with you, or do you want us to just, pretty much be exclusive to one another? And she says, well, we're not together, we're not any of that. I don't care. And I say, are you sure? I feel something's wrong. But she's like, no, we're not together. It's your choice, I'm okay either way. So I say, okay. And in my gut, something just feels wrong, but I decide to take her word on it. So I do that, And I talk to other girls come, other girls go. Just talking. But in the time that I'm talking, there's two that become other front runners. Not as much of a front runner as her. She's still in the lead, but there's another front runner. And eventually I get to the point where I realize, wait a second, I'm in a love triangle now, and they're just not aware that they're in a love triangle with me. So I explain, me being me, someone who wants to do the right thing, someone who wants to be kind, and someone who wants to be just, and someone who wants to, treat people with respect. I expressed to them the situation. One is okay with it. She pretty much allows me to back pocket her. She's completely okay with it. She understands. In fact, I really respect her for expressing that to me. I really respect her for that. So I'm still talking to her. But the other two, one of which is this girl that has been supporting me emotionally, and that I've been trying to support too, when I can. They don't take it so well. And they don't take it so well for presumably different reasons. So I guess I'll go over, I'll save the other one for later. But, the girl, that's been supporting me doesn't take it well at all. She's very, very hurt by this. And I'm kind of surprised and in shock because, she said she was okay with it. I didn't say like, oh, we're not talking anymore. Oh, I'm not going to date you or anything like that. I just said, hey, I say two things. I preface it with, first, it doesn't seem fair for you to put yourself in this situation, or for me to... Okay, those are fireworks outside. I don't know if you can hear that. That's why I was pausing. For me to, put you in this situation. It's not fair to you. And so I say, I'm asking her politely, I'm asking her respectfully, at least in my mind, open your mind, open your heart, emotionally prepare yourself, be emotionally available to talk to other people. If I'm going to do so, it's only fair that you do the same. And then I say, I'm kind of and then I express to her that I'm putting myself in a love triangle, and I'm smack dab in the middle, and I have to figure this all out. And so I say, and then I tell her, even if we don't end up dating, or you're not the person I end up dating, I still want to be your friend, you know? I know that's very, I guess what you could say, idealistic of me to say, and maybe not even emotionally fair for me to say, and I kind of realize that now. And I'm sorry for that. But, I say, you know, I still want to be your friend. So, and I say it for this reason. I say, and I preface it with, so that even if, so that in the long term, we still have a chance together. Now, I was 99.9% sure I was going to choose her regardless. It's only fair that I choose her. She's been here the longest, she's supported me the most, and I like her the most. You know? I have both emotion and logic to choose her first, you know? We're very compatible. We like each other very much. We've been planned on watching, Avatar The Last Airbender together since she had never seen it before, but she went ahead and watched it without me for whatever reason. It was kind of whatever. And so she wanted to watch, so I suggested we watch her favorite anime, which I had never seen before, called, what was it called? Vampire Night, together instead. And she said, yeah, let's do that. Unfortunately, that never happened. And so she says she's sorry. I mean, not, I say I'm sorry, you know, I didn't mean to hurt you and stuff like that. And she's like, I know. But then she blocks me on her phone. You know, she blocks her phone number from me, and then she blocks me on Instagram, and she has me blocked on Snapchat, and she has me blocked on Yubo, which is where I met her. And so I use another one of my alternate accounts, and I'm just like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to hurt you, I'm serious, you know, I really care about you. And she says, yeah, it's okay, I've just been really emotional lately. And I'm like, okay, and that kind of calms my mind. Everything's gonna be alright. And so a couple days go by, a week goes by, whatever, and I try to check on her, you know, because she said she needed some space, and I decided to give it to her, but I just wanted to check on her, make sure she was doing okay, see even if I can do anything. She blocked me on that alternate account. So then, my heart kind of drops, and I'm just like, oh, man. And so I try to, so then I use my main account, to message her one last time, and I'm just like, it was just my final plea, my final apology, my final just expression. And, you know, I say I'm sorry, I say, you know, I never meant to hurt you, I say all the things that someone who's genuinely sorry and genuinely cares about somebody would say. And I'm just like, if we could just communicate, we could figure this out. You know, she says, okay. Just okay. I say, and I say, I guess you just don't want to talk to me again. She doesn't deny or confirm this, but it's very clear that it's a yes. She doesn't want to talk to me ever again for whatever reason. And so, you know, I just say, well, in that case, goodbye. I really am thankful for you. And I hope you find happiness, even if it's without me. Because you deserve it. And she says, goodbye, Jayton. And I presume she blocked me there, too. But I haven't checked. But, yeah. So that really, really hurt. I was stressing over her so much. Because I really did care. But I guess people give up easily. She just gave up easily. And when I did further meditation on what had happened, it had always been in my mind, but I never realized to the fullest extent that this really isn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong here. At least I don't think I did. And if I did, it wasn't really expressed to me. You know? She said she gave me the green light to talk to the girls. I talked to other girls. I then realized, hey, I'm kind of putting myself in a love triangle here, you know. And I try to back up so I can do this a bit more, or I can maneuver the situation with a bit more precision and grace and respect for all people. And I do just that. And she just abandons me pretty much. So that really hurt. This is all stuff that's been recent too. So it's not like this is months and months ago story time. This is real life, you know. And then the final girl, her story isn't as deep, but it still hurt. But she was another girl that I had talked to. We started off as friends, but eventually we grew to like each other. I didn't love her, you know. I didn't say I loved her. There was always the possibility of us loving each other, but we just never got there. And we FaceTimed each other and blah 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 and stuff like that. And she liked me and I liked her. I really did. I really did. I saw a future with her. Not like some legitimate grounded future, but just an abstract future in which I can legitimately see something, a glimmer of something. You know, she's a goofball. She's funny, or she's not funny. Her memes actually suck. In fact, we joke about that all the time. But I enjoy talking to her, and she enjoys talking to me. We enjoy, you know, each other's company. But, you know, once I expressed to her, you know, the love triangle situation, you know, because I say I like her, she likes me. I express that I'm in a love triangle. You know, I say, hey, you know, I pretty much say the same thing I say to everybody I say to her, you know. I don't really say anything different, you know. I don't make anything any more or less special. And I'm like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but in the case that it's not you, you know, I still want to be your friend, you know, and I realize once again, that's a bit idealistic and a bit emotionally unfair to ask somebody, and I apologize for that if you're watching this. But, you know, I do just that. I do all that, you know. I do the hokey pokey and I turn myself around. That's what it's all about. And she says, okay, you know, or she doesn't respond. She says she doesn't have a comment at the time. And so I kind of just leave her be to think about it because I feel like that's what I should be doing, you know. I don't want to emotionally undermine somebody who just maybe got a shock. So I just leave her be to think about it. And then a couple days later, either a day later or a couple days later, I check up on her and I'm just like, hey, you know, how are you doing? She says, all right. I say, you know, all right, that's good. And then I'm like, all right, so you know, I get to it, you know, I'm here to check on her. I ask, you know, what have you, do you have any comment on what I told you? And she's like, no, I try not to think about it. And now I'm just like, what? You didn't think about it? You're not thinking about it? Why not? You know? And so I just talked to her. And I'm just like, you know, this isn't a good way to cope with it. This isn't a good way to cope with it at all. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, well, you know, this is how I cope with it, and this is how I stay happy. And I'm just like, Okay, fine. Don't listen to me. It's not like I've dealt with years upon years of depression and anxiety, had multiple medications, anxiety and depression, had multiple therapists and multiple psychiatrists. Just don't listen to me. It's not like I've been doing this for years. And she says, "Oh, I have the same thing, except I don't have a therapist, and I presume medication either." And she says, "I'm my own therapist." So that was kind of a fuck you to me. That was kind of hurtful. Um, Maybe she doesn't know how much it hurt, but that hurt. And I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever, you do you. And then she asked me if I'm upset, and I say, yeah, I'm a bit upset, and I'm a little disappointed too, because this is how you're coping with it. And she says, she pretty much says, well, don't be. And I'm dumbstruck with her. It almost feels like disregard, and it was pretty much a second fuck you on top of the first one. And so I just kind of like, only if it's that easy. If only if it was that easy. And then she says, okay, and then I just leave her on red. I don't have anything more to say to her. I'm done. Ugh. So yeah, that's the story. That's the story. I only have one girl left that I'm really actually talking to, and I'm thankful for her. I'm very grateful for her. I'm thankful for C. Her name starts with a C. Too. I said I was thankful and grateful for her at the beginning, but I really am. I really am. I never meant to hurt you. I'm sorry. But, yeah. That's what it is right now. Kind of been in a real bummy state, Things just suck. Yeah, there's more than that, just that's been bummy. Even though this is already a lot, especially since this has all happened within the past week and a half. But, yeah. It sucks. It hurts. I guess it's just an emotional outlet, But I'll call it group therapy. Maybe you can make a response. Maybe whoever's making will get inspired to make a response video to mine, Who knows? Maybe the girls that see this, will see my perspective on things and see that I didn't mean any harm. And that, I really do care about you guys. But, now onto the heartache part of it. I am in pain. I am in pain, guys, man. I'm in pain. This hurts. This really, really hurts. Not to say that, C isn't hurting, or K or isn't hurting, or N isn't hurting, even though she kind of screwed me over emotionally. But I'm hurting. I'm really, really hurting, In fact, I texted EJ, not my cousin EJ, but EJ, about how I was feeling about all this. And this is what I said. You know that feeling where you're in a constant state of sadness that's even worse than your normal depression and you don't know what to do about it? That's me right now. Like, I just want someone to lay right next to me, so I just so I know I'm not alone. A word doesn't have to be said. The closest I ever had to that was falling asleep over the phone with somebody. And I don't even have that anymore. And none of it is my fault. I tried my best to make everything right. I tried my best to do to make people happy and not hurt anybody or anything like that. I just want to hear someone else's voice or feel someone else's warmth beyond my own in those hours where it's both dark, figuratively, and literally. And so that's how I've been feeling for the past for a while now. It really sucks, but I've just been pretty much reminding myself this day too shall pass. The sun will shine again. Stuff like that. You know? That's all I can really say to you too. You know, I don't have any mystical advice. And I don't think anybody has any mystical advice to me. In fact, when people say, hey, what's wrong? I explain it to them and they basically say, oh, sorry. That's it. No one has any advice. No one has anything to say. You know? And I get that they don't have anything to say, but a lot of people don't even bother to give me any sort of emotional comfort. I don't know if they don't know how to, or they just don't care to. And I see those people, and it disappoints me, and it makes me think less of them, honestly. Maybe unfairly, but that's just how I feel. When you're in clear pain and someone looks at you and then says sorry and turns around, you think less of them. I think that's natural, right? So, I've just been sitting here, I've been hurting. I don't have any answers. And this is just one way that I'm outletting it. Outletting that pain and frustration and grief. People know that I'm hurting. People know that I'm not feeling good. But 95% of the time, even though they know, they're generally apathetic to it. And for that 5% where they're not apathetic to it, 95% of the time, they won't even say anything to me about it. And 90% of the time when they do say something to me about it, it's not any sort of emotional comfort. But I'm grateful for when it is. Through that 95% chance to that 95% chance to that 90% chance. I don't know. Let me pull up my calculator right now so I can see what I'm grateful for exactly. Calculator. So 0.95 times it's actually 0.05. What am I talking about? 0.05 times 0.05 times 0.1 equals 0.00025. So that's 10th, 100th, 1000th, 10,000th, 100,000th. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the exact word. I'm not really much of a math guy. I'm good with math sometimes, but it's not my expertise. Nor do I enjoy it. But if I've illustrated the number for you. That's even though I get comforted that many times, metaphorically speaking, I'm still grateful for it. I'm still grateful for everybody who, tries to comfort me. Or who does comfort me. If you don't know what you have, that you don't really know what you're getting. If that makes sense. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking back on all of it, on my history with all of this, it's almost like I'm living a Shakespearean play, where Shakespeare just really wanted to make his character hurt emotionally through, sadness and all that. Romantic sadness. Romantic Shakespearean play where Shakespeare makes people hurt. So yeah, it's 12:34 right now. Just PM or AM, I don't know, it's nighttime. I'm just sitting here, just sitting in my chair, leaning back and just talking to you, whoever's listening. Thanks for listening, if you are listening. I know a lot of you guys just click off after 2 minutes, but for those who stuck around, thank you. Even though I don't know who you are, just seeing those numbers on the screen saying this was the average watch time means something to me. So thank you. This is Marstalks. This is your Mars King, the Exalted Martian, the King of Mars, Jonathan Salisbury. I try to say something at the end of each episode, or not episode, every podcast, or whatever. So, for this one, I'll say, it's a question, actually. And I guess there's a bit of explanation to this question. So, wheat is a plant, and vegetables are plants. And biologically speaking, as far as I can understand, wheat is much closer to a vegetable than it is a fruit. So, and bread is made of wheat. Or at least most breads are. Traditionally. So my question to you, dear viewer, is wheat, or no, it's not wheat, is bread a vegetable? You don't gotta say yes, you don't gotta say no. Just let it sit in your mind. Just let it ferment, I don't know when the next episode will be. Like, comment, subscribe, all that, whatever. I don't care anymore. Well, I do care. Thank you for each subscriber, obviously, but you don't care. If you're gonna subscribe, you're gonna subscribe. I don't have to tell you to. Anyway, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.